All right, residents' comments on agenda items only, and we have a couple here. Randy Erickson?
Hello, trustees, Mayor Whitco. My name is Randy Erickson. I live at 8521 School. The issue at hand here is whether this historic property, the site of the first school building in Morton Grove, which was school grounds for 85 years and which has continued that dedication to public use by the citizens of the village for another 45 years as Village Hall, should be retained for future public use by the residents as it has been for the entire 130-year history of Morton Grove. I grew up and have grown old in Morton Grove, and I love this town. The village has long been run as a model government providing fine public services, public works, police, fire, administration, and with fiscal responsibility. I believe, however, that this is a case where dedication to fiscal responsibility has narrowed the focus of the administration, restricting the vision of what should be done for the wider benefit of the residents of Morton Grove. I believe the main reasons for advancing this project are to cover the cost of demolishing a building that does not need to be demolished and to facilitate getting the site on the tax rolls to increase the village-wide EAV, which also is the reason for all the transit-oriented development. Building 100 homes on underdeveloped property raises the EAV, but it also means adding students to the school systems and providing Morton Grove's high level of public service to the new residents is costly. So the solution becomes building another 100 homes, which creates a vicious cycle. The village can have both a stable population and be prosperous in the long term. The property tax revenue that is projected to come from 20 or 30 homes on this site is not significant to village finances. In a modern design development of that density, no matter how attractive the homes are, would stick out like a sore thumb in this historic neighborhood of old homes and would not enhance the value of the 300-plus other residences in this area, but would restrain their value, as opposed to green space, which would very much enhance the value of all the other homes. An article in the February 5th Champion describes that the village of Niles is doing the vacant village-owned property at 7421 North Waukegan Road, creating a Niles nature nook that promotes recreation, conservation, and environmental education for the students of Niles School District 71 for generations to come. That, I believe, is showing vision, and they're doing it on a site 1/3 the size of the Village Hall property. Once again, our school systems are running out of room. Common advice is to never sell a school facility because you may need it someday. Many people still regret the sale of Borg School, which was done as an act of fiscal prudence at the time, which has forced Parkview School into its present overcrowded predicament. Reconverting the Village Hall building for school
1
use
minute.
would be costly, but much less so than building a new school. If you're looking down the road at the village benefiting from the increased EAV bump from the Village Hall site 23 years after the TIS district would be created, then certainly a 25-year vision for the future needs of our school communities is in order. I assume the utilities for this current building are as up to date as any and that they can be maintained for future use at minimal cost. If this site were land banked, and all you did was remove any unnecessary parking lot, seed the open space, and fence off the building, the grassy area would be full of kids the first summer. More and more young families with children are moving into this beautiful neighborhood of 80 and 100-year-old homes, including couples buying a grandparents' home because they love it here, as my generation bequeaths our homes to the next generation.
That's time, Mr. Erickson. You can, if you're close to done, you can finish up.
I've got like 3 more paragraphs.
Oh, sorry. I think
Okay.
you said this last meeting too, so thank you for your
Pardon me?
comments. I think
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Can this be included in the record? This
Absolutely.
written statement?
Yep, you can give it to Terry Kusar, and she'll include that.
Okay. Thank you for listening.
Thank
I hope you
you.
will, I was going to talk about the legacy you could create for this village board, but I didn't get a chance to get to that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Janice Cha?
Thank you, trustees, for giving me an opportunity to speak. My name is Janice Cha, and I live at 8924 Olcott for more than 20 years now. As you consider the proposed TIF district along Dempster, I'd like to emphasize several priorities essential for proper planning. These include green space, school capacity, and housing size limits. First of all, our community needs a meaningful green space in this area between Dempster and Lincoln. Something large enough for a softball field, a playground, and even open spaces for families. Kind of what we've got over on the west side with Oquito Park and Oriole Park. The area between Dempster and Lincoln is underserved by way of green space. There's a lot of the pocket parks, I see them, but nothing really big. With new development nearby, the need for accessible recreation space is only increasing. Speaking of the new development nearby, I'd like to see the village planning proactively for school capacity. As the Parkview School Superintendent said at the previous meeting, let's see, what did he say? He was concerned about the size of schools. He was concerned about Parkview being already at capacity, and with all those new condos coming online, where are those new kids going to go? Any redevelopment plan should include a realistic assessment of enrollment growth and a strategy for expanding school facilities accordingly. Finally, if the TIF does include new single-family home construction, I would like to see zoning ensure a balanced and sustainable mix of housing sizes. I would urge the board to consider setting a maximum home size of something that's appropriate to that neighborhood. My house on the west side is 1,800 square foot. It's a 1950s house. 2 doors down from us is a new construction, 3,555 square feet, if Zillow is correct. It dwarfs everything around it. It's not my favorite house. Anyway, so I would love to see that the housing size be regulated if that's what will be going into the space. I would encourage the board to ensure that any TIF district strengthens the quality of life for current and future residents by prioritizing green space, school capacity, and thoughtful zoning. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Laura Frisch?
Terry, do you want this? Terry, do you want this?
She'll take it.
Hello, my name is Laura Frisch, and I've lived at 5830 Crane Street in Morton Grove for the past 22 years. We moved here to raise our family in a diverse community where people walked the streets and children played in the parks. I have volunteered at various community events and served on the PTO for Parkview School, the Morton Grove Public Library Board, Niles West Music Parent Association President, the Morton Grove Farmers Market Committee, and helped to administrate the Morton Grove Women Who Drink Tea Friends Group. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm an example of what so many of us in this room are, active community members. Sadly, many of the members of the village who came to the last meeting that I spoke with were discouraged and have not come back this evening. My husband and I decided when our children graduated from the public school systems, District 70 and District 219, that we would stay here in our golden years because we love this community and our neighbors. But my concern this evening is what this neighborhood will become when a TIF allows for million or multi-million-dollar homes to be built and businesses on Dempster to be squeezed out for higher rents. Here are my proposals that may help make this a TIF that works for all of Morton Grove. 1, cut out the open space along Dempster where the Cook County Forest Preserve land is included in the TIF. We do not own that land. And I would like to add, please let us know if there's something you plan to do on that land. Replace the land with Moody Avenue from Dempster to Lake Street, west to Parkview School District 70 building and surrounding grounds. That is approximately the same space that you're going along School Street to this property. That will allow the school district to benefit instead of losing tax dollars from the Dempster TIF. Due to the need for TIF money to pay for demolition of the current Village Hall and Police Station, include this space with the following caveats. A, the R1 single resident housing remains. with lots being no less than 50 feet and no more than 75 feet wide and 125 feet to 160 feet deep. Houses to be no more than 5,000 square feet. Raise your hand if you have a house that's more than 5,000 square feet. Ensuring that 20% of the housing stock be no more than 2,500 square feet. My house is 2,400 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, and I don't think that, that seems like a pretty good starter home. B, 1 acre of that land will be turned over to the Park District to create a park with basketball court, open fields, and play structures. I said 1 acre. I honestly don't know the size of this acreage, and I couldn't find it in the TIF 68-page report. 4, grandfather in all current businesses that do not own their buildings to a rent freeze with an increase yearly that is equal to the percentage increase each year before the TIF. Example, if the rent for business A was $10,000 a month in 2024 and increased to $10,200 in 2025, then the increase each year would be no more than 2%. You can still include all of these items in the TIF district through zoning and ordinances by this village board. I urge you to keep your village what it has been, open to new people and supportive of those who have been here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I don't see, I have some appointments. Pardon? Oh, okay, yes. I don't see Randall Israel, but I am nominating Randy Israel to be the next commissioner for the Appearance Commission, and I ask for a motion and a second for that vote.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so motion made by trustee, I'm sorry, White?
Phil?
Oh, trustee Thill, and seconded by trustee Minks. Motion to concur.
Yes.
Please take the vote. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then secondly, I am appointing Ninas Chalabi as our next Traffic Safety Commission Chair. He has served on the commission for the last 3 years and will be filling the vacancy of Amit Shah. So thank you to both of them.
I'll make the motion to approve Nino's Chalabi to the
Second.
traffic
Oh, we need
safety.
that? No, we don't. No, we don't need that. We
Oh,
don't need
okay.
that for the, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to invite Chief Pat Crease of the Vernon Hills Police Department to the podium to present Tier 2 reaccreditation to the Morton Grove Police Department. Chief Crease is representing the Illinois Association of Chiefs of Police, which oversees the Illinois Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for having me in the Village Board. I'm here tonight as not just the chief of Vernon Hills, but I'm a vice president with the Illinois Association Chiefs of Police. And just to give a little bit of background to the community and the recognition of the department, early in the 21st century, the Illinois Chiefs of Police sought a way to help local police departments demonstrate how to achieve the highest standards. This led to the creation of ILEAP, the Illinois Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. Illinois Chiefs partnered with organizations such as the Illinois City and County Management Association, the Illinois Criminal Justice Information Authority, Northwestern University Center for Public Safety, the Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency, Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, and other organizations to help create a set of standards. This is the authority for accrediting law enforcement agencies in the state of Illinois. Today, I'm here to recognize and congratulate the Morton Grove Police Department for their ILEAP reaccreditation. All departments must undergo a reaccreditation every 4 years to ensure the departments are in compliance with current standards and best practices. As many of you know, laws are constantly changing and evolving, and the practice in law enforcement profession needs to continue to evolve with these changes in policies, procedures, and practices. Morton Grove Police Department was originally accredited in 2017, so this is their second reaccreditation. It's important for us as a statewide association to publicly recognize departments that are doing well and embrace the best practices. ILEAP is a program designed to be such as an administrative bulletproof vest. This administrative armor was designed to help reduce risks and liability, serving as a catalyst to professionalize the industry and soften the blow of a lawsuit should one be filed, despite current best practices being followed. This accreditation is important for your police department, for your community, and for all of us in Illinois who are pushing for higher levels of police professionalism. The Morton Grove Police Department has achieved Tier 2, which means you meet or exceed 181 different important standards. We reviewed your policies and procedures in the context of these standards. We looked at 4 areas: administration, training, operations, and personnel. We brought in professional assessors to look at such critical policies such as use of force, pursuit, record keeping, and community policing. To achieve accreditation, or in this case, reaccreditation, is a rigorous process. Taking many months, and for a department to demonstrate its compliance with these standards is no easy task for anyone. So congratulations to Chief Weitzel, to Sergeant Fusas, and I said that wrong though, didn't I? Fasos, I'm sorry. And this is a great accomplishment. Recognizing that only 63 police departments in Illinois have achieved this accomplishment, that's about 5% of the police departments in Illinois. So you can be sure you have a professional police department that's up to date with its policies and procedures. The Illinois Chiefs of Police are very proud of Chief Weitzel and the entire department on this accomplishment. With that, I have placards.
Very nice. Absolutely. Please, Chief.
I promise brevity. Good evening. On behalf of the Morton Grove Police Department, I want to begin by thanking Chief Crease for taking the time to be here tonight and for presenting this Tier 2 reaccreditation to our department. Chief Crease is held in very high regard by our organization. His career reflects a commitment not only to serving his own community, but to strengthening policing standards across Illinois through leadership, mentorship, and a clear dedication to professionalism. His involvement with the Illinois Association of Chief of Police initiatives reflect a belief that accreditation is about building agencies that are consistent, accountable, and worthy of public trust. And we really appreciate his time this evening and the example he sets for departments throughout the state. But the night really belongs to Morton Grove Police Sergeant Gus Fasos. In addition to being a tremendous asset to the Morton Grove Police Department as a leader within the patrol division, he also is tasked with managing our reaccreditation processes. This responsibility requires attention to detail, persistence, and a strong understanding of how policy, training, and daily operations align. It is important work that often happens behind the scenes, and Sergeant Fasos has handled it with professionalism and takes great pride in our organization. We proudly accept this Tier 2 reaccreditation this evening before our village board, and we appreciate the guidance provided through ILEAP as part of this process. We thank you for this recognition, and many thanks to the village board and to the community for your continued support of our police department. Thank you.
Thank you both. Congratulations to the entire department, and a special congratulations to you, Gus, Sergeant Fasos. I know how hard you worked on that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Congratulations. All right. All right. Okay, so Morton Grove Senior Expo. We are hosting our first Senior Expo on Friday, March 13th from 9 a.m. to noon at our Civic Center. This free event with complimentary refreshments for residents provides an opportunity to connect with local service providers and obtain educational materials on health, wellness, transportation, housing, and more. And February is Restaurant Month here in Morton Grove. Participants have a chance to win one of 10 $25 gift cards. To enter, submit a photo of you and your friends dining or receipts totaling $25 or more, showing that you ate in a Morton Grove restaurant in February of this year. For details, visit mortongrovil.org/dinemg and enter to win by March 10th. I hope everybody takes that advantage of that. As we approach the spring, I want to express a blessed Ramadan starting February 18th, as many of our residents and community members observe this sacred month. Also on February 18th will be Ash Wednesday and the start of Lent. On behalf of the village, we want to wish all those who observe these hallowed holidays well wishes. And this week, the village was fortunate enough to join the Northwest Municipal Conference and neighboring villages led by Village of Skokie to meet with our state representatives in advance of the upcoming legislative session. Today, I was able to join our staff and Mayor Tennis of Skokie, Mayor Patel of Lincolnwood, to meet with Senator Villavalum, Representative Kelly, and Representative Alakal to discuss issues like pensions, funding for 911 centers, and zoning considerations. I look forward to working with our partner governments this year down in Springfield. And now I will move on to the clerk's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today I attended the Advisory Commission on Aging. I just wanted to highlight some of the wonderful things that are happening at our senior center, including monthly senior lunches, classes, AARP senior tax assistance, and a vaccine clinic on the first Friday of the month that's sponsored by Mariano's. The Morton Grove Community Church continues to supply fresh fruits and vegetables for homebound senior residents through their Abundant Harvest program. They're always looking for volunteers to help pack and deliver groceries on the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. For more information, you can contact Reverend Beth Guzman at REVBETHGUZMAN@gmail.com or call 847-965-2982. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Staff report, starting with Village Administrator.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to get the presentation up. So while that's booting up, I just want to notice that Ann Maroney with the Johnson Research Group is here tonight, and she's been helping us through the process. So I want to just do a quick overview of the three ordinances that are on the administrator's report for the facilitation of the proposed Dempster Street TIF. So those would be ordinances 2602, 2603, and 2604. My apologies, we're having a little technical difficulty in getting the presentation up. I will summarize the three ordinances, and then I will circle back to the presentation. So the three ordinances, and they would be considered together tonight, would be ordinance 2602, 2603, and 2604. 2602 is the first of the three ordinances. It would be approving an ordinance of the Village of Morton Grove approving the redevelopment plan and project area for the Dempster Street redevelopment project area. As part of this, the GRG with Amarone prepared an eligibility survey and concluded the proposed redevelopment project area qualifies as a redevelopment project area as defined by the TIF Act. GRG also prepared a plan and project which have been available for the public inspection since on or before November 14th, 2025, and the plan and project were considered and recommended to be approved by the Joint Review Board at that time. It was unanimously approved by the Joint Review Board at their meeting on December 16th, 2025. And then it was also considered at our public hearing on January 27th, 2026. And my apologies. So the report from GRG found that at least the minimum requirements for a finding of conservation area a conservation area are present in the proposed area, that private investment in the proposed area has not and will not occur without the adoption of the proposed plan and project, and contiguous parcels in the proposed area would be substantially benefited by the proposed project improvements, and the proposed plan and project conform with the comprehensive plan of the village. The other ordinance that is on for a first read tonight is ordinance 2603, and this is the second ordinance of the three that would facilitate the approval of a TIF. This is, as background, this would cover the Dempster Street TIF, which is from Dempster Street from Central Avenue to the Forest Preserve, and School Street from Dempster Street to South Park Avenue, and that the property here has not been subject to maximum growth and development through the investment by private enterprise, and is not reasonably anticipated to continue to produce property taxes of the same level as it previously had without certain public assistance. This ordinance, if approved, will designate the area that's legally described in the attached ordinance with Exhibit A, generally described in the attached Exhibit B, and depicted in the map, which is attached to the ordinance as Exhibit C, as the Dempster Street redevelopment project. And then the third ordinance that is up for a first reading tonight is an ordinance of the Village of Morton Grove adopting tax increment allocation financing for the Dempster Street redevelopment project area. And the purpose of this will adopt tax increment allocation financing pursuant to the TIF Act. Property taxes for property in the redevelopment area will be segmented by allocating taxes attributed to the lower of 1, the current equalized assessed value, or 2, the initial equalized assessed value of the property in the RPA to the taxing districts, and allocating taxes attributable to the increase in the initial equalized assessed valuation to the Dempster Street redevelopment project special tax allocation fund to be used for paying for redevelopment project costs and obligations pursuant to the TIF Act. To help kind of also explain this, we have a presentation that will go through what has been discussed previously, and then also hopefully try to address some of the questions raised by the public.
Chuck, can I just ask, can everybody see to you on that end? Would you like to move to that side? Would that be helpful for anyone that can't see? Okay, because feel free to move if it's easier for you to see from that side, but okay,
I will add, Mayor, that we will be putting this on the website as well.
great.
So for a little status, and I already talked about the structure of it, but going through the process we followed so far, in addition to the structure of it for the 90.1 acres, the process that we use to establish this is ongoing and has followed the applicable state laws to provide notice and facilitate public improvement, or input, I should say. We held our public hearing at our last meeting on January 27th, 2026. And then we have the three ordinances on first read tonight for consideration for a second reading at the February 24th, 2026 meeting. And at any time, if anyone has any questions, feel free to email at administration@mortongrovil.org or call us at 847-663-3061. So I want to thank the public for their input throughout this process, but also at the public hearing. Something that we wanted to do was also try to address the questions that were raised and try to provide guidance on some of the questions. And so we have those here, and I also tried to jot some notes down during the public comment to try to add to it. So for the one we want to address is that the village is not proposing or entertaining high-dense uses such as apartments or condominiums for the existing Village Hall Police Department site at 6101 Capulina. Right now, it is zoned as R1, and prior to any action on the Village Hall site, there will be a public process to solicit feedback from the community before issuing a request for proposals for this site. I will also add, and I believe I shared this last meeting, we don't anticipate there being any movement on that process for approximately a year, just because we're going to be working on the new Village Hall site. So that is something we'll be addressing at a later date. So it's not on the agenda tonight to take any action related to the future redevelopment of this site. There is no proposal to construct subsidized or low-income housing. In 2022, the village adopted a village-wide affordable housing ordinance and established an affordable housing trust fund and program to provide financial assistance to long-term senior residents to be able to stay in their homes. In conjunction with the village's Dempster Street corridor plan, which runs the entire length of Dempster Street, not just the proposed TIF area, ideas will be presented for future redevelopment that maintains the existing character and uses while facilitating investment. Specifically, there's going to be recommendations developing the area without acquiring property or increasing lot depths. There's a question about would there be an increase to lot depths. We also, with that Dempster Street corridor plan, our contractors, Tesca, is also working on ways that we can redevelop the area while still maintaining that character of those businesses that we value so much being there and staying there. The other component that we have is they've presented, and we look forward to being able to present this to the public, but safety enhancements for the trail crossing at Dempster in the forest reserves and the Milwaukee North District train line. So as part of this process with Tesca, they've actually provided some recommendations for us that would allow us to work with the Forest Reserve in the TIF district using TIF funds to possibly make adjustments to that trail crossing to help facilitate safety issues that have unfortunately happened in that location. Really good conversation that's come up is the importance of green space. And so many probably know this, but a national standard is a half-mile distance is really the goal for accessibility to green space. And so it's colloquially referred to as a 10-minute rule, but in reality, it's a half-mile distance between a resident's home and recreational green space. And so the National Recreation and Parks Association and Trust for Public Land, which is a nonprofit that works to connect everyone to the benefits and joys of the outdoors, supports that service standard of having quality green space within a half mile. So in using their website and researching Morton Grove, 94% of the village does fall within that half mile access standard. The only areas not falling in this category are located in the far east of the village and adjacent to Skokie. There are two neighborhood parks located in the immediate area around Village Hall. In addition to those, there's also two very large parks within a half-mile walk of the neighborhoods. Within that half-mile walk would be Harrer Park or Austin Park in the village. And then, obviously, we are very blessed by having the forest reserves that have entry points on Dempster Street and Lincoln Avenue that provide neighborhoods with access to hundreds of acres of high-quality open space in Morton Grove. We also wanted to look at the school district enrollment information, and I want to thank the superintendent for School District 70, who was kind enough to also look at this data and provide some input for us to make sure that we were sharing accurate information. So concerns were raised about increases in local school enrollment as a result of the TIF district developments. The village reviewed the data on enrollment for the main school districts in the village, specifically School District 67 and 70, which are almost wholly contained within Morton Grove. And that enrollment data was provided in the following slides and does show fluctuations in enrollment across the school districts over the last 20 years and also includes trend lines. So I'm going to show District 70 and then District 67. So this is the enrollment for School District 70. Their average enrollment over this period of about 20 years is 862 students. The low was 765 students in 2006, and the high was in 2019 with 960 students. And so, if you can see the low trend line, it is a slight increase over that time period as well. And as I mentioned, the School District 70 Superintendent Matt Condon was very helpful, and he shared with us some data regarding some projects that the village has done. So this is the current enrollment that School District 70 has in relation to more recent developments in the area. But I will add that as required by the TIF Act, local public school districts, they have the opportunity to certify additional students associated with the TIF district and housing projects, and they'll receive eligible tuition costs for each student. So there is a structure within the TIF to help address additional costs that may be created by students coming from those TIF areas. So there is a structure in place, and we've been working with the school about notifications for that, so that way they can let us know and we can let the bank that kind of oversees this process for it help process those requests. I will also add that some of these are in the former Lehigh Ferris TIF, which I think those who were present last time may recall that that was a very successful TIF where it was able to put $1 million back on the tax rolls after the completion for our school district. So that's $1 million extra for their tax levy as a result of the TIF, and something that we're very proud of for that TIF district. This is School District 67, which has not really had TIF developments during that time period. So you'll notice they have an average of 621 students with a low in 2007, 2008 of 537 students and a high in 2020 of 742 students. So smaller district, but as you compare the two, you'll notice they do share similarities in trends, but also do share that similarity where year to year they may have variation across their own enrollment. In terms of the next steps, we have our first reading tonight for the three ordinances that facilitate the TIF, and then a second reading on February 24th, 2026 at our meeting at 7 p.m. And then, as I mentioned a short time ago, once there is the village is in a position to look at the future possible redevelopment of this site, that would likely be a public process, and we would be soliciting comment and likely doing an RFP to see what potential is out there for the development of the site. But there's been no decisions made on it, and this feedback we've received tonight and throughout the public hearing process has been very beneficial for consideration of this site. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions from the Mayor or Village Board.
This was very helpful. Thank you, Chuck, for putting that together. Any questions from the board that we haven't already asked?
Question. The inclusion of that forest preserve property, that is just to augment the safety that's there now. It has nothing to do with taking over forest preserve property.
It would not. And I will say I had a good conversation with the Forest Reserve about this in the last week regarding that. But we communicated to them why we had it in there, but also the fact that we have, frankly, a good project that would provide safety, I think, for the community and those using the trails there.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you, Chuck. Corporation Counsel? Reports by trustee. Trustee Khan is absent. Trustee Travis will be reading her resolution.
Yes, so I have Resolution 26-08, authorizing the extension of a contract with Foster and Foster for actuarial services for the Village of Morton Grove Police, Fire, and Municipal Retirement Funds and other post-employment benefits. State law and governmental accounting standards require the village to contract for actuarial services for its police, fire, municipal retirement funds, and other post-employment benefits. This allows the village to assess the assets, liabilities, and annual funding requirements of each plan. This resolution will authorize the village village administrator to execute said contract for actuarial services. On January 24th, 2023, the board authorized a contract with Foster and Foster for actuarial services for the period of 3 years, starting with the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2022, through the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. Foster and Foster have provided satisfactory service, and the village wishes to extend this contract by 1 year. I move that we accept Resolution 26-08 as presented.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Travis, seconded by trustee Thill. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Trustee Minks?
Aye.
Trustee Thill?
Aye.
Trustee Travis?
Aye.
Trustee White?
Aye.
Resolution 26-08 passes 4-0, Your Honor.
That's the end of Trustee Khan's report.
Okay, trustee Minks?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no formal report, but I did want to make mention about the Citizens Police and Fire Academy. If anyone is curious about what Morton Grove police officers and firefighters do, please join us for this year's Citizens Police and Fire Academy. The academy runs from March 18th to May 20th, 2026, on Wednesday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. To sign up, please visit www.mortongrovil.org, and that's Morton Grove IL as one word. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Trustee Sheeb is absent. Trustee Thill?
No report.
Thank Thank you. Trustee Travis?
Thank you. I have ordinance 26-01, amending Title V entitled Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Chapter 13 entitled Traffic Schedules of the Municipal Code. So this is the second read, just a little bit. The 8,000 block of Menard Avenue has been the subject of ongoing traffic and pedestrian safety concerns raised by multiple stakeholders, including area residents, municipal departments, and partners at Niles West High School. On December 1st, after consultation with senior staff and with the approval of the village administrator, the police chiefs, pursuant to Municipal Code Section 5-1-4, enacted temporary traffic regulations, which included no parking, standing, passenger drop-off on school days from 7:30 a.m. till 8:30 a.m., no parking, standing, passenger drop-off on school days from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., no U-turns on Menard between Oakton Street and Keeney Street, and no U-turns on Warren Street between Major Avenue and Marmora Avenue, and village implemented experimental traffic regulations which resulted in decreased congestion, improved safety, and positive feedback from residents. So this ordinance will make those experimental regulations permanent. So I move that we accept ordinance 26-01 as presented.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Travis, seconded by trustee White. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Trustee Thill?
Aye.
Trustee Travis?
Aye.
Trustee White?
Aye.
Trustee Minks?
Aye.
Ordinance 26-01 passes 4-0, Your Honor.
I have resolution 26-09, authorizing a public auction for evidence property recovered by the Morton Grove Police Department. The Illinois Law Enforcement Disposition of Property Act allows a police department to sell property at public auction which has been lost, stolen, or abandoned if the owner property cannot be located within 6 months after making reasonable inquiry and efforts to ascertain or locate the owner. The Morton Grove Police Department has custody of items which it reasonably believes were lost, stolen, or abandoned and cannot ascertain the owner of the property after making reasonable inquiry. The chief of police recommends the property be sold at an online auction conducted by Open-Off Auction Service. This resolution will authorize the sale of the property at auction and will require the police department to publish notice of the auction at least 10 days prior to the sale. I move that we accept resolution 26-09 as presented.
Motion made by trustee Travis, seconded by trustee Minks. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Trustee Travis?
Aye.
Trustee White?
Aye.
Trustee Minks?
Aye.
Trustee Thill?
Aye.
Resolution 26-09 passes 4-0, Your Honor.
And lastly, our first neighborhood outreach meeting will be held on Thursday, February 19th at 6 p.m. at Melzer Elementary School, located at 9400 North Oriole Avenue in Morton Grove. Please join us so you can meet our elected officials and staff, and we hope to see you there. That's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee White?
Yes, I have ordinance 26-05. This is approving a minor amendment to ordinance 25-03, granting an amendment to a special use permit for the expansion of an existing daycare facility at the property commonly known as 5633 Dempster Street in Morton Grove. A little background on this is since it's been proposed, it would not change any aspect of the approved use or site plan. The proposed request is for an extension, is eligible for approval as a minor amendment to ordinance 25-03. This is no action on this tonight. This is a first read only. Next, I have ordinance 26-06. This is approving a special use permit for a parking variation at 9428 to 9438 Waukegan Road in Morton Grove. The Plan Commission reviewed the case PC 25-14 on January 20th of 26. Based on the application, a staff report, and testimony presented at the public hearing, the Plan Commission voted unanimously 5-0 to recommend approval of the special use permit with conditions relating to employee parking. Again, no action on this. This is a first read only. And my last ordinance is 26-07. This is approving an amendment to a special use permit, ordinance 10-26, to eliminate the automotive maintenance and repair use and expand the retail sales area within an automotive mini mart station at 6,000 Oakton Street in Morton Grove. This is based on the application, staff report, and testimony presented at the public hearing. The Plan Commission voted unanimously 5-0 to recommend approval of the special use permit with conditions relating to the building materials, lighting, business operations, and operating hours. Again, this is a first read, no actions needed tonight. And that's the end of my report.
Okay. Presentation of warrants, and you'll do that, trustee Travis
Yes.
or trustee Khan?
I'd like to present tonight's warrants, which total $454,929.97. I move that we accept tonight's warrants as presented.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Travis, seconded by trustee Thill. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, please call the vote.
Trustee White,
Aye.
trustee Minks,
Aye.
trustee Thill,
Aye.
trustee Travis.
Aye.
The warrants pass as presented, 4-0, Your Honor.
Thank you, and I don't believe there's any other business. But residents' comments, would anyone else like to speak? No? Okay. I motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, sorry. Motion made by trustee Mink, seconded by trustee Travis. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.